I got a name for you.
Okay.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, no. Why is he everywhere?
Mark Zuckerberg has been on a lot of random podcasts recently, and his rebrand has just been, to me, entertaining.
It's been weird. That's for sure.
So, 2 podcasts recently that had very different comment sections.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg was on Theo Vaughn. Hilarious as always.
It's so awkward. You showed me the clip of literally the first 2 seconds of the podcast. It's the most awkward thing I've ever seen in my life.
And then he was on Colin and Samir, and then Mr. Beast came in. We're big Colin and Samir fans. The comments for that, it wasn't received very well.
It did feel awkward.
So let's start with some comments from Theo Vaughn's podcast with Mark Zuckerberg.
Theo Vaughn's side.
Mark got the glasses translating Theo and telling him when to laugh. So he had smart glasses on.
He did have smart glasses on.
Theo hit Mark with that coffee question before his language pack was fully loaded. This feels like 2 guys trapped in an elevator. Like, just awkward.
It did feel like 2 guys trapped in an elevator.
Zuck, my wife's pretty chill. Theo, she's a chillionaire, huh?
Did he really say that?
Yeah. You look like a guy who watched a YouTube video on how to be human. Theo said that to
Bro,
Zuckerberg's face.
that's insane. It's really funny because it's like all of the comments on Theo Vaughn, 60% being about how Mark is a robot and 40% being about how it's cool to see Theo doing stuff, versus the Colin and Samir one, which I texted you about it because it was so crazy how like every single comment was negative,
which was weird because people like Colin and Samir. First one up, nightmare blunt rotation,
which is hilarious.
Everyone staring directly into the camera makes me feel like I'm getting grilled in Congress about privacy violations.
Yeah.
Honestly, watching this channel now feels like walking into a seemingly local restaurant and then realizing it is a food chain.
So I think I sent you that one.
You sent me that one.
Which is pretty crazy. I love Colin and Samir. You love Colin and Samir. But I don't necessarily disagree with that statement.
How that episode felt. And you know it's bad when Mr. Beast is the most normal person in the video.
Which is very true.
I love the channel's success, and it feels like as the guests get bigger, your ability to challenge guests in interviews decreases.
And that is a really good point in comparison to the Theo Vaughn episode. Theo was just doing his thing.
He just does it.
Whereas Colin and Samir didn't feel like a normal Colin and Samir episode. It felt really weird.
This interview is the exact opposite of how I usually feel during a Colin and Samir conversation. This is uncomfortable. I think what this shows is regardless of how tight you are with your community, your audience can sniff out BS.
Oh, yeah, dude.
The Theo one clearly was still just Theo being Theo. It was honestly really entertaining.
It was really funny, yeah.
And the Colin and Samir one, it didn't hit the mark for their fans, for their community.